My name is Mukhtar Kareem. I was one of the founding trustees of the Lady Fatemah Trust when it was formed in 1997, and today I'm fortunate enough to be serving it as CEO. We look for the best projects to be able to empower individuals who, through no fault of their own, through natural disasters, through wars or circumstances entirely beyond their control, have found themselves lacking the basic necessities of life. Often, the standard charity model is, let's go and feed the person every day. At the Lady Fatemah Trust, we do things differently. And we do things differently for a reason. For you can give a man food, you cannot hand him his dignity. In wanting to earn that dignity, individuals need to be able to stand back up on their own 2 feet, and that is what we enable you, the donors, to be able to do better. At the turn of the decade, and little did we know what the decade was going to hold in store for us, we looked back to the first 20 years of the Trust's operation. And fortunately, we were able to see that about 1.2 million lives were touched by us. The 5 key areas that we identified were access to water, ensuring that the 200 million hours a day that are spent predominantly by women and children walking to unsafe sources of water, carrying heavy loads, often multiple times a day, to bring home meager resources of water that then possibly need boiling, but if you don't have the energy with which to boil that water, consumed raw. It could be full of animal feces, it is definitely full of bacteria because it's been collected from still sources, but that is what the human beings living in those circumstances have just accepted. The second area is safe maternal births. Every 90 seconds, a mother dies in childbirth. The cost of saving that mother's life is often less than £5. Giving the children a future is far richer with the mother in place. The third area is good education. For children, particularly those that society labels as disabled. Different ability is something that we embrace, and having an inclusive environment in which children of all abilities come together, in which they receive their education. E-learning has been a huge area for us, highlighted by the pandemic, with children being excluded from physical classrooms, having that connectivity to the space. Beyond replicating curricular education on those laptop devices, what it's meant is the whole family sits down together. The family gets the education on emotional well-being, on financial management, and together they learn how to cope better with situation. The fourth strand we fondly call Mothernomics. Mothernomics is an end-to-end support system for widowed, single, and any other mother out there who needs support. In a lot of these societies where we work, the patriarchal nature of the society means that the woman is reliant on the man for safety, protection, but also income. Food comes on the table because daddy goes out and earns. But what happens when daddy is killed or doesn't survive an operation? The mother is left to not only look after the safety of her children, but finds herself needing to put food on the table. And that is a huge struggle. So how does Mothernomics help? Mothernomics looks at the entire need of the family. Emotionally, the mother and her children will have suffered trauma through the loss of her father. Ignoring that does not work. We need to address that. The second element is teaching the mother a skill that will not only help her believe in herself, that she is able to achieve and do things for herself in life, but also allows her to market products that she can earn an income from. But it only works if the training is to a certain standard and level. So gaining a qualification where the mother is able to sew garments or bake food or do anything else that is in need in society can take her that much further forward. After the graduation, the mother is loaned the tools of her trade, and so she has an obligation to herself that she needs to use these items
in order to earn for herself, but also pay back the cost of the item. The repayments then help someone else. That way, the donor's money is constantly being recycled. Beyond that, we found the biggest hurdles that the mother will face is finding what she needs to make and who she's going to sell it to. Because often, these mothers will not have access to large markets. And so, at the Trust, we take on that responsibility and give them access to markets so that they not only know what is in fashion and requirement, but also who the major buyers for these quality items will be. That way, it takes us well beyond the I'll sell it to my neighbor or my friend market and onto the larger schools, hospitals, people in the hospitality and catering industry, and that way the mother is freed from the shackles of poverty and emerges to independent income.
The fifth strand is emotional and mental health well-being. Throughout all the areas in which we work, trauma, anxiety, fear, these are huge emotional forces that reduce human beings to a fraction of their full capacity. And if we are going to be able to allow each and every one of us to be the best version of ourselves, then we need to be able to unshackle ourselves from the anxieties that are holding us back. And throughout this, we found one common theme. If we are to empower humanity, we've got to do it with the most noble existence after the divine messengers, the mother. For emphasis, the mother. She is the mother of the community that we are seeking to heal. She'll pull the community back together from its fragmented present to a unified future. She is more likely to put food on the table for her children. She is the cohesive force that binds communities into stronger societies that'll rebuild the nation that has been fractured. So across all 5 work strands, the impetus is to touch the lives of the million mothers and building programs such as Mothernomics to help the mothers deliver a better future for themselves and their families. There are a number of things that you can do to help and get involved. Firstly, try and understand the situation. Often you find when you give charity out of feeling a sense of obligation, you're not fully connected to that element of what is it that I'm trying to do. By understanding the problem, understanding the solution that the Lady Fatemah Trust is trying to bring to that community, you're better connected with the problem. And you feel the same way, hopefully as we do, that you owe humanity a duty of care. The second thing is spread the word. Share with others this opportunity. Let's try and get this right. We're not trying to make charity redundant. We're just trying to make it more impactful. So it's not the same group of individuals that you go back and help year in, year out. Let us not make it the rule that every single person who finds themselves now in a situation where they need to be assistant is perpetually going to be in that situation. The financial resources that you are able to spare, do make it go that much further. Make a commitment, whether it's a small direct debit monthly or a lump sum. Each little bit helps and helps drive it forward. Collectively, we will make it more impactful. Collectively, we can drive bigger change. And also, I'd invite you to look at this as a lifetime obligation. Over a lifetime, if you pledged to want to build a classroom or a clinic, it may feel unachievable now. Writing that check for £100,000 here and now may not be in everyone's control. However, if you planned it over a period and said, if I wanted to achieve this before I leave this earth, most of us can do it. The need is really there for all these uses. And there's a term of, the perpetual reward of giving. We try and make that exponential rather than linear. The linear bit is you dig a well, you build a classroom, you plant a fruit tree. Every time someone uses it, you get the reward for it for a period. How about if whoever uses that generates an income and part of that income is returned so other people can benefit from it too. And the community finds that whatever benefits are being reaped by the individuals who are initially given that assistance will come back and assist all of them. Suddenly your linear return on that social investment becomes exponential, because the very people that you have assisted today become your co-investors in that social empowerment program. They themselves not only live the difference and inspire others to do it, they generate the revenues through which the empowerment journey just carries on. And it works for charities to seek to become redundant in a lot of situations by empowering those communities you work with today, so the need for your interventions decrease over time, so you can carry your charitable activities somewhere else. Having inspired and enabled one community, they have not become dependent on you in perpetuity.